Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. I know, second time in a week, but I'm excited. I know you're excited. Another episode of the PlungeCast with the Breath Academy's own Lynar, Deluca. I'm super excited. We're going to learn all about breathing and cold plunging and stretching and all sorts of interesting things this episode, and what the Key Collective is as well, amongst many other topics. So, Lynar, if you would like to join me, I would love to have you. Until then, I will say it is a lovely Georgia day. It is, of course, at this point. So in the meantime, we'll wait on her to join, but that's the weather here. It's cloudy. It was supposed to rain, but I'm glad it's not. It's nice and sunny. Tomorrow it's definitely going to rain, and this weekend it's going to rain as well. Oh, do we have her?
Hi.
There she is. Hi, welcome, welcome.
I'm just working out the sound. I've got you in my earbuds. I hope you can hear me.
I can. Yeah, you're coming through just fine.
Awesome. I'm actually going to take them out because I don't want to have them fall in the water.
That's fair.
The water.
That is fair. Oh no, did it fall in the water? Oh my gosh. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, of course. Hey, how's it going?
That's good. Good, very good. I'm glad we could do this. We could exchange this conversation and talk, and yeah, it's going well. How's the weather out there?
Oh, quintessential Pacific Northwest day. I had to bring the umbrella out just so we didn't get rained on too much, protected the phone, but it's gorgeous here. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, and I'm in my cheater tub.
Nice. Are you in the tub already?
Yeah, I'm in the tub right now.
In the tub. Okay, well, you know what? I won't waste any time. We'll get in the tub myself. Sorry, don't mean to leave you hanging there.
Oh, that's okay. It's funny. I was like, oh, this is like a cheat day.
Fair enough. How long do you normally stay in the tub?
If I'm at the cold plunge, if I'm in the plunge at the collective, it's usually between 2 and 5 minutes, just kind of depending on the time of day and what I've done beforehand.
Okay.
But that plunge tub, it's cold. It's so cold. It's about 39, 40 degrees on average.
Sure.
And it's got that pumping water. It just, shoots the water out constantly. So I think that adds an extra chill factor to it. And it's lovely. That tub is so lovely.
Excellent. Well, yeah, I know the feeling somewhat. I keep my water pretty frosty with the chiller around 39 or 40, but the difference is it's not moving, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, absolutely. When I get people in and they get settled, and they've got they're kind of cocooned in there, they're really concentrated. I'll say, open your arms, right? Or move your legs. And then the look on the face, it's like, oh man, here we go again.
Move your hands back and forth like this and get some water moving. Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Making you earn that dopamine a little bit more.
For that reason, I've only done it a couple times since I started cold plunge, but I absolutely love any moving body of water, river, stream, any of that. It just changes the entire experience.
Absolutely. And here up in Washington, especially where I'm at, we've got such great access. I'm just about an hour and a half away from Mount Rainier that has countless little alpine lakes. And then in the opposite direction, closer to Seattle, there's the I-90 corridor, and that is just dotted with lakes. And that's actually really how I started my cold exposure, not knowing that I was really doing a thing. But I've got a great friend that I hike with, and we've actually been on this breathing and cold plunge journey together. But every time we'd go for a hike, it was like, let's go to a lake. Let's find a lake. And then we'd end up going in and just not really knowing what we were doing, but actually doing a thing,
Yeah.
Always kind of being called to that cold water for sure.
Well, I mean, this is perfect. This is exactly how I kind of wanted to open this up and get your background and what drove you to it. And that's perfect. I mean, really, the questions was led into that. I wanted to hear about your passion and what led to it. And I think we have in large part, and please add to that as well. But how did that lead into the work that you are doing today?
Yeah, so the dipping at the lakes was kind of just, that was just an intro. And then around 2017, I was approaching this milestone birthday. I was turning 40. And I have a child who at the time was turning into a teenager and really needing kind of less of my attention in a particular way. and I was feeling like something was missing. I was needing something, and we moved at that time, and I came across this fantastic yoga studio where instead of, and not that all yoga studios do this, but the emphasis really was on all of the limbs of yoga and having yoga be this life practice, not just a workout. And that's where I found breath work. And so I was having a consistent yoga practice, and I was just loving every aspect of breath work. And so I became a teacher, or took a teacher training to get more exposure to the breath work. And that's when we did a Wim Hof. Around that time, we did a Wim Hof event up in Seattle. And I think my girlfriend and I got home, and I was like, I want that every day. I want to do that every day. And so it wasn't very long. I got my wine barrel. So we converted the wine barrel. It's right behind Elizabeth. I'm looking right at it. That's Barbara. Everything has a name. So I got Barbara, and then I wanted to expand. And when I got Barbara, then I started bringing people into the cold. I started guiding them through that very dynamic Wim Hof style breathing. I was practicing it on a regular basis, and I started to bring people in the cold. And then I actually did a short training with Lucas at Yoga Body and became a certified breath coach, because I wanted to learn what was happening, that science behind the breath work, which just kind of isn't addressed in the yoga teacher training. And then that's when after that, I started really getting into wanting to have a business for breath work and cold exposure. So I was bringing people into the backyard. I was bringing people into Elizabeth. And another one of my really good friends is the owner of Key Collective, and she invited me to come on board to do group ice baths in my big Rubbermaid tub. And then one day, of course, because cold exposure is all over my Instagram, I just started seeing that cold plunge tub, and I was like, I'm gonna buy this thing. And I asked numerous people to talk me out of it, and nobody did. And so I bought it, and we've been having the tub at Key Collective ever since February, and it's getting some traction slowly but surely. We're spreading the word, and more people are coming out to do breathwork and cold plunge, and it's awesome.
It's amazing. I mean, that is everything that I wanted to know and more. And it leads into the next question of, with breathwork, more specifically, because we talk a lot about cold plunging here. With breathwork, I mean, I breathe every day. How is breath work different, and how does it benefit me? And obviously, I'm kidding. I know that it's more than just breathing every day, but how is that different? How does that benefit with cold plunging?
As far as like doing the breath work before you get in the cold plunge?
Sure.
You know,
or however you advocate, whatever you advocate for it.
Yeah. So I just, I just want people to feel better. Just in general, feel better, less stress, less anxiety, less, this. And by bringing attention to the breath, slowing the breath down outside of cold plunging is just so beneficial, right? We are all spending extended times in fight or flight just based on our regular breathing patterns. And so when we can bring a little bit more focus to that breath, when we can slow it down, when we can actually move it down into the belly, then we can tell the body, hey, we're safe, we can calm down, we can stop having stress. So that just kind of breath work as a practice on its own, which is so dang beneficial. But then the breath work before getting into the tub, it's just what I've always done to prepare for cold exposure. And so it's kind of just the formula that I follow. But what I love about it is it really focuses the mind on the breath before you get in the tub. And once you get in that cold water, getting the breath under control, getting calmed down is key to staying in, reaping those benefits, and then really having those benefits translate outside the tub.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't know about you, but it's like getting in the tub is the ritual. It's awesome. I don't always look forward to it, but I never regret doing it when I'm done. And it's how I respond when I get out of the tub in my everyday life that really is the practice for me.
Yeah,
All of the
100%.
right, all of the physical and really like chemical benefits aside, it just makes me what I think a better person
Yeah.
in the world, and it's how I want to show up in general.
And we're getting some definite love. I think we've reached Brazil here, looking at some of the comments. And I wish I knew. I'm not sure if we're looking at Portuguese as a language or Spanish, but either way, I have a feeling it's love. It's talking about cold. It's wonderful. I love that we're reaching this far with this episode here. And I think every single time there seems to be more and more people. We're engaging. I love the comments. I love the love. Thank you guys so much. Last, and hey buddy, this is Walter. This is my buddy. He was just resting. I think he's back into play mode now. Last but not least, I like this question a lot, especially for you, because I think somebody who's so focused on the breathing and the stretching and the cold plunge and how it's holistic and affects the body. How has your life changed from before you started this to now at this point?
Yep. I'm more calm overall, every day more calm. And I was thinking about this before we got on, that before I found all these practices, there just was always this like underlying current of anxiety inside of me, right? Just this like little buzz of anxiety. And just like every other grown-up out there, I'm busy. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I have another job outside of the Breath Academy. I'm a very social person. I like to get out and do things. And so I was always planning. When am I going to get this done? When is this going to happen? This, right? Making lists and being anxious that I wasn't going to be able to get things done. And now it's not laissez-faire, like, oh, if I get to it, I get to it. It's, I can see the time. I can see where I can find time to do things. I can see that if I don't make a freshly prepared meal every night, the whole establishment isn't going to crumble, and I can be okay with that. It's okay. I don't have to have that anxiety anymore. And so I think that I show up more calm. I recently got a really nice compliment that I don't seem like I'm a competitive person, which was definitely one of my older personality traits that I've kind of tried really hard to disengage with, because it's not necessarily a good personality trait for me.
Sure.
And then just, I think the other thing about this practice for me is it helps me respond rather than react. So I get these moments where when something that would trigger anger or anxiety or rage, instead of just going with that first emotion, I'm able to take a few breaths, pause, go inside, and respond the way that I want to in the world. And that's been the biggest, I think, turnaround for me.
I love that. I mean, that I can echo that sentiment 100%. The peace and calmness it puts in your life, and especially, gosh, and I was just talking with my wife about this the other day, in medicine and in surgery and cardiac and critical care and all that stuff, being able to stay calm, especially in crazy situations, it's a job responsibility. And I can tell you, I've always prided myself on being calm, but man, ever since I started cold plunging, it's this next level of the fight or flight panic response doesn't happen until you are ready for that sort of thing to happen. It's wonderful.
It's amazing. It's amazing, and it's really hard to put into words. It's really just the thing that you want to tell people: just try it. Just try it. If you don't want to turn up in the world this way, if you don't want that low level anxiety, if you don't want the person who cuts you off in traffic in the morning to ruin your whole day, get in this cold, do that work, and you can show up different. It'll change your life.
Been there, done that. Absolutely. Yes.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. And I mean, we're getting comments. I think we may have to have a part 2 at some point as well.
Awesome. I'd love
to. Thank
you so much. Yeah, and thank you for starting this PlungeCast and spreading the word and growing this community. I'm excited to be part of your community, and let's keep putting it out there.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Brian. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.